election cases. Over 2 million small arms in the hands of Ghanaians. And the day of mourning is being observed in Cameroon for train accident victims. You like GBC24 and GTV. It's time for News Hour. My name is Suyoko Kwakwitre.
And I am Ofeyiwa Dako.
The news in detail. Talking Points on Sunday discussed the report of the Ghana Integrity Initiative GII, the local chapter of Transparency International, in which the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation is accused of bias in favor of the governing National Democratic Congress.
Panelists were of the view that the report was not a fair assessment of GBC's allotment of airtime for political party campaigning.
The major parties, they spend a lot of time attacking each other, speaking on almost every issue. And some parties don't speak on any issue at all. So what must GBC do? Go and imagine what they are saying. What did you really compare? What did you really take note of? What were your indices? What index were you looking for to say that this has been done? That is very important in any scholarly report, particularly in a critical report.
In the newsroom, how should something like this be handled? When one party is campaigning with about 5 fronts, other political parties are campaigning with less than that. When the story is coming from that political party, you have 5 stories coming in. From the other political parties, you have less than 5 stories coming in. How should one handle this in the newsroom or the state media?
You have a problem, first of all, of editorial discretion. Within that realm, you have a matter of choice. Choice depends on content, the relevance of content, and then the availability of the totality of information that comes to you for a particular bulletin, for a particular hour. You understand it? So if I've got all these haven't come in, and they've all been properly treated, edited, and passed, and they are the only ones that I have, what do? I don't go on air, or I take one because I'm going to have to wait for another 2 to arrive from nowhere, which I'm not aware of, or become a dreamer and concoct stories and cover it up. You see, you are placing the news people in a very difficult situation, right? I have a time for me to use my bulletin to go on air. And this is the information that I have. I go along with it. The only thing may be that after the bulletin has been passed and gone on air, and that is the reason I suppose that we have several bulletins per day, per night, all that the editorial desk will have to do is to look out. If some new items are on, again, we'll sit down, use our editorial discretion relative to what is available, right? And then reshuffle. And I think it is done. But in the absence of that, and there's a vacuum, I'm bound to repeat what I have because I have to fill the air, the space that I have. I have to. Let them understand, please, that professionally you have a problem. And
but someone watching GTV will not understand that this is the challenge you have in the newsroom. Just as the Ghana Integrity Initiative will just monitor GTV and conclude that, well, you're not being fair.
I guess that my intervention is educating them sufficiently about what goes on in the newsroom at any given time. So you have to learn to give yourself the chance that if my news goes in there by 9:45 and there is a bulletin at 11 o'clock, it has a greater chance of getting into it. Because the chaps in the newsroom, look, they are sitting on tenterhooks. Please, gentlemen of the country, that sitting in that chair is not an easy.
The Electoral Commission has reminded media houses to apply early for their accreditation for the coverage of the 2016 elections. This is to forestall any embarrassment since C-194 clearly states that access to the polling stations is restricted. This issue came up at a capacity building workshop for media practitioners in the Ashanti region on ethical standards for reporting elections.
Participants were taken through topics such as election irregularities, fraud and rigging. Others were nomination of candidates for parliamentary and presidential elections, duties of a returning officer and presiding officer. Ashanti Regional Director of the Electoral Commission, Mr. Sribo Kweko spoke about the relationship between the EC and the media, as well as spoiled and restricted ballots. He indicated that the media relies on the election management body to provide the public with information on elections. He therefore cautioned the media to avoid declaring results before the EC does. On media accreditation for coverage of the elections, Mr. Kweku encouraged media houses to apply early for their accreditation to forestall any embarrassments, since CI 94 clearly states that access to the polling stations is restricted.
We also expect that as the candidates and the rest are campaigning, you help the voters to be well informed so they can make informed choices. And if people are doing issues that are not good, which infringe on the laws, we expect that the media will help in exposing those wrong things.
The head of the Ashanti Regional Office of the National Media Commission, Mr. Jonathan Frimpong, encouraged media houses to provide the competing political parties and their candidates reasonable airtime for informed political discourse for the benefit of eligible voters. The Deputy Ashanti Regional Director of the EC, Mr. Lawrence Sapong, said the EC would sanction any EC official who would not live up to expectation.
The annual Chief Justices Forum has taken place in Accra. It was under the theme, The Judiciary and Election 2016. The Chief Justice, Justice Mrs. Georgina Theodora Wood, assured the public that the judiciary will uphold their rights at all times.
The Chief Justices Forum is a yearly colloquium which brings together the bench, the bar and other stakeholders to evaluate the performance of the judiciary. It also offers the judiciary the opportunity to open up to the public. With the 2016 general elections just a few weeks away, this year's version of the program focused on the judiciary's preparedness to deal with electoral disputes promptly and fairly. The Chief Justice, Justice Mrs. Georgina Theodora Wood, said public confidence in the judiciary is essential for national peace and development, since it prevents people from taking the law into their own hands.
At a time the High Court rules have been amended to provide for witness statements, I am confident that the maximum professional diligence would be deployed by all judges in adjudicating the multiple suits being filed ahead of December 7th, 2016.
Presenting a paper on the judiciary's preparedness towards the 2016 elections, a Supreme Court judge, Justice Jones Doche, said the court system is undergoing reforms to ensure that electoral integrity is protected.
As we go to the elections, we wish to assure the good people of Ghana that we shall deal with cases which are filed before the courts expeditiously, bearing in mind the fact that issues turning on elections need to be quickly resolved. But in order to achieve this, we count on the cooperation of the parties and their lawyers, who must appreciate and understand that cases relating to elections must be given priority over other cases.
The Chief Executive for the Institute for Democratic Governance, IDEG, Dr. Emmanuel Akwete, said there is the need to put measures in place to forestall conflicts.
Hoping that my advocacy for a stronger social role for the judiciary will go beyond the petitions and the cases, but also engage in the wider processes by which you probably could insist that the parties do more dialogue, because they are running away from dialogue and compromises, and the choice between the Supreme Court and violent options are truly not choices we should entertain.
The forum was attended by the judges and magistrates, members of parliament, members of the Ghana Bar Association and security agencies.
Several communities in the Esutifin North constituency of the Bunahafo region have been connected to the national electricity grid. The Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, who inaugurated the electricity project, said the government is committed to meeting the infrastructural needs of all parts of the country.
The Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, and his team rounded off their 6-day visit of the Bunahafo region with campaigns in the Esutifin North constituency. Atwedia was a center of attraction where a new electricity project was commissioned. For many years, residents of Atwede, a small farming community, never had electricity, and this in a way affected economic and social life. The community was selected as part of the government electricity extension program. The electricity will be extended to Donko Krom, Kwewu, Asempaneye and Gomu zone, all in the Sutifi constituency, which will give the children the opportunity to acquire ICT skills and promote rural enterprises. Some community members expressed satisfaction at the provision of electricity in the area. At Edeba, some big wigs of the NDC has called the need for the electorate to vote for the NDC and its parliamentary candidates. The parliamentary seat is currently occupied by the NPP. The NDC hopes to capture the seat this year. Mr. Eric Adai was introduced as the aspiring MP of the area. Obin Krom, a cocoa growing area, was also connected to the national electricity grid. This brings to over 40 communities who will be enjoying power for the first time in many years. The Adontinghene Nana Aferimenta was happy about the economic turnaround in the area and thanked government for putting the community in focus. The Chief of Staff urged community members to make good use of the power provided, which will aid development. He said the party needs another term to continue with its advanced strategized formula to improve livelihoods in the country. Na moto abanama the Mahama na mudi emia Eric Susu epaka no ho a na yendi mo hwamoda yendi mo hwamo adichese enebe sa hode na mayakshia yakasa ampa da ye ba ya ye be so kanea no ye hye na no mbose se mosuma president Mahama ne ba Erica adie bia akamu bia ye mosumo Japan ye be se musabeka. A rally at Kenyasi was held to run off the campaign tour. Party sympathizers thronged the community park to say a big thank you to the NDC government for their overwhelming performance in terms of development. Speaker after speaker outlined reasons to choose the NDC over other political parties.
I guess I hear you by force. President Mahama. I will be here. Monsama di 2 minutes non paso. Baby amana ntibia wo Ghana ha. Ghana fo nyina say o man pendon Dramani Mahama o ye papa.
The team was optimistic that the enthusiasm exhibited by the Sutifi North constituency will translate into a greater fraction of votes on December 7th.
The NDC has taken its campaign train to Kumasi with Ashanti caucus in Parliament, urging the electorate in Inshayeso to vote for President Mahama and its parliamentarians. Launching its campaign, the former Ashanti regional minister and party's parliamentary candidate, Dr. Samuel Sapon, pledged to advance the development agenda in the region if the NDC is given another mandate.
Inshiaeso is an elitist community in the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi. It is a political hot turf around this time because many of its residents are in decision-making positions of the country. So, the two parties have intensified their presence in this area, considered to have largely tilted towards the opposition NPP in the past. But the ruling NDC has vowed to turn the tide come 2016 because the party believes in the discerning power of the people to consider the unprecedented developments seen under John Mahama to give the party another tenure. To this end, the party fielded Dr. Samuel Sapon to strategically capture the Inshiaeso parliamentary seat. Arguably, apart from being the most celebrated Kumasi Metropolitan Chief Executive, he is a former regional minister, central regional minister, and CEO of the State Housing Company, and has the pedigree, wisdom, and humility to work with people across the political divide. Some members of the Ashanti caucus in parliament and ministers of state asked the electorate in Ashanti region to vote for a development-oriented NDC and not for colors.
Honorable Sapoyemeyano, with people on Homodin, any Napa photo and among the side you might deal with buyer. Moto Abamano by MP, Ewo Sheswa, and I'm this one. Yeah, Muno Kejetiano, Mubu so Kessia crossing.
Speaker after speaker described President John Mahama as most credible to be president and Dr. Samuel Sapong as most credible to represent Inshiaso in parliament.
Nipa da sani biara okuko wenum Inshiaso foi Samusi when you Dr. Nesi wa ta fracha sa uyu uzu Samsung color TV na usu mpebema ni akoto ani se ubekoto Sony color TV na ukoto black and white Samusi mumpe color TV Samsung Dr. Nibioma ya brabo another color TV Sony flat screen curved beautiful Samuel Sapo mamu to chene ankoto black and white
si eka democracy na enye ntokwa wo chira wa dwene se asuasi na obentie na mesu opetu oni biso very simple na Ghana ehye democracy ase yenya enim se ama ehwe wo chenga ntokwa si omontem be se Ghana nyame ache adom na yede odo ene ye bibia nti ena so bia enye eda so ehormo enti be srebora sa so bia mu minkura mu ye se de be ya kam December ebeto aba no asomdue mu na wore se mu se yedi yeto aba no akam December yeto aba no a His Excellency John Dramani Mama obeyo mampeni na fe wo di ban sha so wanso a Samuel Sapong so ebe MP ewo sha so
They say Dr. Sapong is credited for initiating the ultra-modern market project in Kejetia, instituted an educational fund which has supported more than 3,000 needy students and advanced the general development of Ashanti region in various capacities. Nto Bibininto, GBC24, Inshiaso.
The Convention People's Party, CPP, will launch its manifesto in Kumasi this weekend. The manifesto, dubbed The Covenant, is set to contain policies that will bring economic emancipation to Ghanaians. The chairman and leader of the CPP, Professor Edmond Dele, who made this known to Radio Ghana, said the manifesto also focuses on youth unemployment, social justice and self-reliance to Ghanaians. He said the CPP is a tried and tested party, and if given the nod come December 7th, Ghanaians will see the difference between the CPP and the other political parties.
In other stories, a report from the National Commission on Small Arms reveals that there are still over 2 million small arms in the hands of Ghanaians. Out of this number, only 53% are registered. At the launch of the second baseline survey report in Accra, the Minister of the Interior, Mr. Prosper Bani, said civilians who have unlicensed arms and expired licenses still have the chance to regularize them without any hindrance.
Accumulation and spread of small arms and light weapons pose a threat to peace and security, and reduce the prospects for sustainable development. Ghana has not been spared from the dangers of the illicit arms. Examples are the use of small arms in armed conflicts in places like Boko, Yendi, Bunkpurugu, Alavanyo, and Inkonya, among others. Some foreign nationals and Ghanaians are permitted to possess weapons to protect themselves. However, some are also in possession of small arms without license. The wielding of arms without license is an affront on the law. However, in response to these challenges, the National Commission on Small Arms was established by an Act of Parliament in 2007 to deal with matters relating to small arms. In 2004, the Commission conducted its first baseline survey, which estimated that there were 240,000 illicit civilian guns in circulation. A decade after the survey, it was realized that issues of illicit trade in small arms continue to pose threats to peace, security, and economic growth as criminality takes another serious dimension. Following this, government declared an amnesty for civilians who have unlicensed small arms and expired licenses to regularize them without any hindrances. The amnesty led to 1,800 illicit firearms duly licensed during the period of 32 days. The second baseline survey report reveals that there are 16 separate laws in Ghana relating to arms and ammunition that are contradictory to each other and makes it easier for exploiters to manipulate the loopholes.
Stockpile management at the national level and also registration mechanisms that ensure that within the country, those who are allowed to possess, the state has record of them, and for that matter, those who own it are obliged to ensure that the weapons are not misused.
The report also highlights issues such as management of the local artisanal manufacture of small arms by blacksmiths, the need for a review of the legal framework and enforcement of laws on arms in the country.
We would like to encourage all the national security services to continue to secure the weapons that they have in their proper armories. This election cannot be one that leads to a violent outcome. And I can assure you that we, the security agencies, will continue to work as partners to all citizens, all groups, all political parties that have a stake in ensuring that the elections come on 7 December and end peacefully.
The study was conducted by the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center in collaboration with the UNDP.
The flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party (NPP), Nana Akufo-Addo, is in the Volta region campaigning. The move forms part of his nationwide campaign to solicit for the votes of Ghanaians and all the NPP's parliamentary candidates in the December elections.
News tour began with a courtesy call on the paramount chief of Peki traditional area, Togbe Kwejo Day, to seek his permission to embark on his campaign in the traditional area. Nana's campaign team was met by enthusiastic supporters amidst chants of change is coming. At a mini rally to address people of the area, Nana urged the people to vote for their future, since the current government has proved to be inefficient to alleviating the plight of Ghanaians. The campaign team also made a whistle stop at Have. He met with the traditional authorities, after which Nana Akufo-Addo addressed party enthusiasts who obviously were yearning to hear him speak.
People of Have, I'm asking you to help this man in putting me up there. Finally, if I come, I'm going to revive the national
Speakers urged the people of the area to vote for the party come December 7. According to Nana Akufo-Addo, the numerous resources of the country does not match the level of developmental projects
He also added that living standards of Ghanaians is not the best and called for a change in government. Nana Akufo also addressed supporters at Vakbo after a courtesy call on the traditional authorities. He told the gathering the NPP has a rich history of delivering on its electoral promises and said voting for him and the NPP will only bring progress and prosperity to Ghanaians.
The National Health Insurance Scheme. The free senior policy. One district, one factory.
He also made equal important whistle stops at Bando and Biakoye, where he sold his agenda of change to the people. Nana Akufo-Addo is expected to visit 15 constituencies in the region.
Hello again, my name is Maurice Ogbete. Let's talk business. Now, business confidence measured by the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, improved marginally in the third quarter of 2016 compared with the second quarter of 2016. The AGI Business Barometer attributes the improvement to stability in energy supply and macroeconomic indicators. The survey, however, maintains that gains made through power supply has been eroded by the increases in utility tariffs. And still in business, a survey conducted by the International Trade Center has revealed that in the last 10 years, Ghana failed to develop new products and for the export market. The country was also unable to identify new markets in the last decade. The annual SME Competitiveness Report focuses on factors affecting the performance of Ghanaian SMEs. The survey, conducted by the International Trade Center in collaboration with the Association of Ghana Industries, found that standards and regulations hit SMEs twice as hard as large firms in the country. It also revealed that the business environment in the country is not competitive enough to help SMEs thrive. Most Ghanaian firms, according to the report, struggle to produce niche and unique products for the export market. Striking among the findings was the fact that although the Ghanaian SME has what it takes to access funding, access was limited due to high cost.
Companies know how to access the finance, it's simply that they cannot access it. So it's not the capability, it's a system related problem.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chuma Kwabwa, is worried about this trend.
When it comes to readiness and preparedness, according to the SMEs, they are very ready. But even if we are able to prepare all this, we still don't get access to the finance. And it means that there's unavailability in terms of inadequate supply of funds, especially medium to long-term funding.
The survey also revealed that Ghana in the past decade has not been able to identify new markets and new products for exports. But Deputy Director in charge of information and research at the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Agnes Gifty Ajay-Sam, thinks otherwise.
In the last 10 years, we have had some form of diversification. Let's look at the ECOWAS markets. It used to be a very small market for Ghana's non-traditional export products. But in the last 10 years, we've had a lot of increases in the ECOWAS market, and they have a taste now for a lot of Ghanaian products.
The Business Competitive Survey, the first of its kind in the country, will inform policymakers in decision-making. The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Customs Division of the U.S. With this development, customs officials in Ghana will be trained by the U.S. to combat narcotic trafficking, human trafficking, and smuggling, among others.
Customs and Border Protection Agency is a long-standing partner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. The partnership comes in the form of training programs, capacity building, exchange of intelligence, as well as logistical support as part of efforts to stem the ever-increasing menace of international narcotics drugs trade and trafficking. Last year, the U.S. government, through its agencies, supported the training of government agencies to implement the new international border management system. The move is expected to make investment easier and ensure that international trade is conducted in a congenial manner. With the two state institutions better placed to fight businesses that thrives on illegality, including narcotics, human trafficking, smuggling of hazardous materials along the borders of Ghana, the Commissioner for the U.S. Customs and Border Protection said U.S. government sees the Customs Division of Ghana as a strategic partner to rid the sub-region of moves that are inimical to the growth of the global economy.
Well, today's agreement provides a framework for all of us for implementing the security governance agreement here in Ghana with a three-year project. It's going to assist in designing, for instance, an area that we have responsibility in the United States, which is border security, and an integrated border management team. And we're going to provide technical assistance, capacity building, some of the lessons that we have learned, and some of our best practices in this important joint cooperation. And we expect to deploy an advisor to be able to assist in many of these areas.
The Deputy Commissioner of the Ghana Revenue Authority in charge of customs, Mr. John Veni Kudamnura, said drug trafficking is a major issue and will work hard to make Ghana's border unattractive to drug traffickers.
On the back of such mutually beneficial relationships, it becomes more enriching for the customs administration of the two countries to concretize their efforts. Hence today's signing ceremony of a memorandum of understanding that principally commits the two parties to share customs expertise in the following areas. 1. Narcotics trafficking. 2. Human trafficking. 3. Smuggling of hazardous materials. 4. Capacity building and technical assistance, both through the provision of informational guidance. And 5. Other areas of interest to be jointly determined by the participants.
The MOU will see the training of more than 20 personnel of the Customs Division and other relevant agencies in Ghana to tackle crimes along the borders of Ghana.
At this point, to go over to the interbank market and get latest figures of how the local currency is performing. We also bring you latest prices of major commodities on the international market. Insurance news is brought to you by SIC Live. Now, a latest research by Gartner has revealed that about 80% of general and life insurers worldwide would have either partnered with or acquired insurance technology by 2018. It says 64% of the biggest 25 insurers have already invested in startups directly or indirectly, via the venture capital arms. Insurance News was brought to you by SIC Live.
You're still watching News Hour. Welcome to the health segment. President John Mahama and his siblings have donated 300,000 Ghana cedis to the Cardiothoracic Center of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The money is to foot the medical expenses of heart patients. Napoleon Atokito reports.
The Autonomous Cardiothoracic Center, which shares compound with Kolebu Teaching Hospital in Accra, was established nearly 30 years ago. It is center of medical excellence and a major referral center in the West Africa sub-region. Out of the 300,000 Ghana cedis donated to the center, President John Mahama and his siblings gave 280,000 Ghana cedis. The remaining 20,000 Ghana cedis was borne by UT Bank as part of the bank's corporate social responsibility. At the presentation of the dummy check was Dr. Lawrence Rebo, the medical director of the Cardiothoracic Center, one of the president's brothers, Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, and the First Lady, Mrs. Lodina Mahama. The president directed the money be applied for exigent needs of the center, especially to sponsor patients who are critically in need of funds to foot medical bills. The president said the center's place is key in health services of the country and government to support it to deliver to the best of its capabilities. Napoleon Atukito reporting.
Eradication of polio worldwide has become an agenda set by the government and their health partners. On the 24th of October every year, the day is marked to remind countries that the disease still exists and that all must come on board to eradicate it.
Good evening. Let's update ourselves from happenings in the world of sports. I'm Theophilus Sampa. The SI Card Playing Club from La has been crowned the 2016 champions of the Blessing Peace Cup. They beat defending champion C-Class by 22 points in a 5-hour contest. They took away 1,500 CDs, a trophy, and souvenirs from sponsors.
Esahi and C-Class made it to the finals after 9 months of action in their contest that started in February this year, with 21 teams participating. Defending champion C-Class were hoping to maintain their status as the undisputed champions in the La community, but Esahi were also hoping to win the trophy for the first time after 40 years. This explains why the atmosphere was charged during the showdown between the two sides. The basic rule governing the competition was that the first team to reach the 1,000 mark within a 5-hour span won the event. At exactly 5 p.m., officials brought proceedings to an end. Esahi were leading with 840 points, 220 more than C-Class, who were at 620 points. Some officials were happy at the turn of events.
I've heard about it, but today when I got here and I saw the organization, I saw this is beautiful. Let me just help something which is good. So I'm thrilled with the organization. I believe in one principle: peace and unity.
The only problem that they are facing is sponsorship. So we are appealing to all West, that big companies, MTN, Guinness. We are appealing to them to come and support so that we can make cars playing very great in our community.
Oh, I'm too happy because today is my birthday and I wear this trophy. So I'm glad to wear this trophy. Anybody who come again will be the person.
People think playing of card is something like for ruffians, smokers, and it ends like people don't trust cars. Some of us have come to believe when we put in discipline, we can move our community and other things forward.
Prizes were presented to the teams. C-Class had souvenirs and 200 Ghana cedis, while Esahi had 1,500 Ghana cedis, a trophy and souvenirs from sponsors.
The 2016 Annual Bodybuilding Championship Man Ghana has been set for October 29 at the Accra Sports Stadium. The president of the association, Abdul Hayati, says the first 3 in each weight category will be selected to represent Ghana in All International Bodybuilding Championship in 2017.
We have in the Man Ghana. We've kept faith with this event since we introduced it in 2006. It's been rough, it's been tough. In terms of funding, because we are a lesser known sport. You get a little or nothing at all from the sports ministry or National Sports Authority. We're going to pick 3 bodybuilders, the top 3 in each weight category, to form the national team. We have so much competition to attend next year, so we are only going to use bodybuilders who will compete in Man Ghana this year, who will come into the first 3 of the 3 weight category 9 to form the national team, and they are the only bodybuilders we are going to recognize. They are the only bodybuilders we are going to work with so that they can represent Ghana in the year 2017. So at stake will be a tough competition by all bodybuilders to make the first 3 each weight category. And I just want to say to all bodybuilders who is listening, or any stakeholder who is listening, who is related to any bodybuilder, please, this is the lay down that the GBFA have put in down. Any bodybuilder who don't compete, please don't come to us in 2017 to ask for introduction letter to compete internationally, because it is done everywhere. Only the best in football represent Ghana in international competitions. So that is what we are also going to do. You need to compete in Man Ghana 2016. You need to place in the first 3 of your weight category to get the recognition and endorsement. So at stake, apart from trophies or whatsoever, to me, the main thing that the bodybuilders will be fighting for is to get into the first 3 of their weight category.
Up next is entertainment.
Good evening, time for some entertainment news. My name is Valerie Danso. Songstress Nanaya is known for her versatility in highlight music, but not many are aware that she was once caught up in the Liberian War. Her latest single, Biakoye, is aimed at ensuring that Ghana is not plunged into anarchy that Liberia experienced. Here are highlights of an earlier interview here on GBC24. Aya shared her story about her time in Liberia.
I don't want war. I mean, nobody wants war. I even got pushed at one point with a gun, and I actually have that side of the story in one of my songs called "Finally Free," which is also out. He said, he pushed me with the back of the gun, like, whoa. He said, yeah, let go this way. You're all gonna die. You're gonna war. Nobody knows when it starts or how it starts. We didn't take it serious back then in Liberia. We heard rumors, and then we saw we heard stories on the news and in the marketplace, and people took it for a joke. But the next thing we knew, it was happening.
She spoke about her upcoming projects.
A campaign called Sign the Flag. I have a flag. Yes, okay. I have the flag, and basically I take it wherever I go, and I get people like yourself, of course, to sign and pledge peace. Okay. And I have 6 powerful women in the industry and in society. On the night of the performance, each one of them are going to talk and say something about the show.
Ghanaian dancehall artist Vibrant Fire is dead. The 29-year-old died at the 37 Military Hospital on Sunday. That's all in this segment. Have a good evening.
And that's all in the news for now. Thank you so much for watching.
We're back at 10:30 with news tonight.
Good evening.